Good morning, my friends. Let me repeat that I just said. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, the middle of October. This is the Healing the Heart of America course. And I'm always grateful. I'm just really feeling it strongly this morning for everyone that is willing to do the work to heal their heart and have the influence of healing on the heart of America. Today's topic is freedom of speech, and while that's certainly touching into the whole political realm, we'll certainly get in that, but mostly we want to look at the fear and the hatred and the anger that causes us to want to suppress other people's speech. And that we want to address that, and in that way allow the very free flow of ideas which enriches everyone. But let's just begin saying good morning to our hearts. So sit up straight with your feet on the floor, if you don't mind. And let's just notice our state. It's really a significant thing just to notice where we are. How alive, how alert, how fresh, how awake, how present. Once we have that baseline, let's just put our hands one on top of each other onto our hearts. And just say good morning to our hearts. And we're directing the energy of our hands, that energy comes from our hearts, back into our hearts. And there's nothing we really do here. I invite people to feel their heartbeat if they can, but nothing we try and do. Just honoring our hearts. And just check in. Just by saying hello to our hearts, by changing the energy circuitry within our body, just by moving our hands. What's your experience with yourself? How present are you? How silent? How open? How fresh? And having noticed that, let your hands down into your lap. We'll begin our practice of heart rhythm meditation. This fabulous way of meditating with our heart and our breath, come from the desert fathers and mothers, these great God-realized beings of the 4th and 5th centuries. And brought to the current time by Peron and Susanna Baer, who researched it and found it based on their own experiences. They knew it had to be somewhere. So we begin this by sitting up straight just where it's comfortable. Never do we struggle. Someone wrote me yesterday saying they actually, they have physical issues with their back, and they actually lie down for this. And that's perfectly okay. There's a value to being sitting up straight, but if there's pain, there's really no meditation. There's just feeling pain. So, just watching the breath. How free, how open, how clear, how deep. And now let's make the shift into full exhale, full inhale. Abdominal breathing. Pull the abdominal muscles all the way back towards the spine on the exhale. At first it seems like a lot of work to do that, and then it starts to become very automatic. And again, notice your experience. When we flush our system with prana, with life force, what happens to your state? And when it's comfortable, let's begin the process of feeling our heartbeat. Either we feel it directly inside of ourselves or feel it in your pulse. You can hold your breath for 20 or 30 seconds and you'll feel it that way. Or simply count until the heartbeat becomes noticeable, till our inner senses open up. It's just practice. So what we want to do is we want to match the rhythm of our heartbeat to the rhythm of our breathing. Typically that means inhale for the count of 8 heartbeats, exhale to the count of 8 heartbeats. Could be 6, 10, whatever pattern is right for you. And just begin this process of connecting these two basic rhythms in our life. Eventually we begin to connect to the rhythm of nature, to the magnetic pulsing of the earth, to the pulse of our cerebral spinal pumping up and down the spine into the brain. The daily rhythms, the hourly rhythms, they all exist. This is a way to begin to connect to them. Feel free to use this time to connect to whatever divine being resonates with you, putting their name to the heartbeat, or an affirmation of truth to the heartbeat. And again, check in after just these few minutes of heart rhythm meditation. How deep are you now? How present, how quiet, how connected? How do you feel about your heart right now? Near and dear or disconnected? And every day we apply this basic practice. Last week and this week now, we've been working with the 5 elements. Last week, just the experience of them and using them as a doorway into experiencing unity consciousness. And this week we're exploring the chakras, the elements through the chakras. Earth element to the root, water element to the second chakra, the life, center of life, procreation, sexuality. Fire element, of course, going to the solar plexus, the sun center. The air element going through the throat chakra. And then back into the heart for the ether element, for space, for akasha. So this morning, let's revisit the water element. These are the 5 fundamental forces in creation. In the Vedic tradition, there are the 8 prakriti, the 8 forces in nature, from where all creation springs. Those are the 5 elements: the mind, the intellect, and the ego. Very subtle energies. When we know these energies, we know all of creation. And we can become friends with these very divine energies, these very divine impulses of intelligence, beings, if you will. So with the water breath, we inhale through the nose, pulling energy from the heavens above down. This water element falls down like rain, like mist. We inhale, pulling the energy down into our heart. And then we exhale with slightly open lips. And the invitation here is to inhale, fill up your heart with the inhale, with that heavenly energy. And then just gently blowing it, perhaps bending your head down to where you can see your second chakra, which is going to be a few inches below your navel. And just blow this energy into the second chakra, filling up this life force with life-giving energy, this life center. And of course, water softens the heart. It softens everything. It allows us to be vulnerable, allows us to be sensitive. Inhale, filling the heart up, keeping to that same basic connection to the heart, feeling the beating of the heart. Exhaling, moving all that energy down into our second chakras, and then letting it just flow on out, down and out into the earth. We talk about being vulnerable with the water element. But the thing is, we become so fluid, so flexible, so yielding, so full of surrender in the water element, that no matter what comes, we just adjust and shift. It's a great place of power to be vulnerable, to be open. It's a great place to open up everyone in your environment. We've all had this experience. Someone opens up, and all we can do is open up with them. And we thank them for going into this deep place. Inhaling full, filling the heart up with this very soft, gentle energy, and then exhaling it. into this center of life within us? Would it be okay with us if this creativity of the second chakra awakens? We say creativity both in the sense of creating life through sex, procreation, but also through art, through music, through all the expressions like this. Also creativity in terms of science, in terms of business, in terms of teaching, in terms of every challenge in our daily lives. We inhale, pull the energy down into our heart. Exhale, filling up this creative, life-giving center. Water is life. It creates, when this chakra is open and healed, it creates a generous, magnanimous person. These qualities become alive. Also, the great quality of beauty springs from this energy center within us. Would it be okay with us Would it be okay with us if we live in a world of beauty? Inhale. Exhale, filling up that chakra. And just check to see if there's some enlivening of energy in that part of your body from this. Just allow. Allow it to be okay to be awake to our sexual energy, to be awake to our creative powers, to be awake to beauty. And imagine for a moment, let's just play with one of these divine qualities. Let's play with beauty. Imagine this water element energy spreading out throughout all of creation. It's already there, we're just noticing it. And imagine seeing the beauty in all of creation. Maybe we can't see it, but just imagine it for a moment. I'll explain why. Allowing our energy and this quality of beauty to express itself fully throughout creation to the far edges of the universe, as well as within ourselves. Just get the sense of it. I know it's a new request from me. The reason I'm doing it is I want us all to get that these divine qualities are also a doorway to unity consciousness. When we see and experience and feel and know that there is beauty everywhere, then we connect with all of creation on the level of beauty. We could do the same thing on the level of generosity. Generosity throughout creation. And you may say, wait, I know people who aren't generous, and that's okay. Could we allow ourselves to realize they are in the process of allowing generosity to flourish within themselves? That it's there in seed form, this divine quality of beauty, of love, of generosity, of wisdom. Wisdom's not so much second chakra, but just can we allow other avenues of experiencing the underlying connectedness of all creation? And let's pull our energy back into our hearts. And just, could we allow ourselves to be grateful to this quality of water? Gratitude pulls us together. It's a form of love. Is it okay if water becomes enlivened within us? We feel it, we love it, we know it. It becomes our friend. And all we do is we say yes to that and let it happen. We let water take care of that process. We make the request, and of course, water will respond to our ability to receive it. So let's move on. Now that we're well within our heart, we've touched into the unity of creation, and let's talk about speech. Freedom of speech. And my first impulse is to say, when we speak, it goes to the far, far boundaries of creation on some very subtle level, and then like echoes back to us. Has to be this way, and I've heard many masters say the same thing. That we are so connected with every part of creation that when we speak to all of creation. Perhaps very faintly, no question about that. But it's there. And notice all of us, look within yourself and check to see how you feel about being shut down and told not to speak. How much beauty is it there when someone tells you to shut up? Go back to some point in your life where someone told you to shut up. Was that an expansive feeling? Or a collapsing? How could they? So just go back to that place and notice that the person who said that was speaking from their own pain, their own fear, their own needs. Check to see if you're disapproving of them. And if there's any disapproval, if there's any wanting to control that person, they should never have said that, could we just feel that feeling, be with that feeling, realize it's not exactly a useful feeling, but we want to hear it because it's within us. Can we honor that feeling and let that shift? Let the heart shift that energy into love, compassion, beauty, whatever divine quality you choose. And notice we ourselves, when we react like that, that we have given some of our power to that person. If we were fully in our power, we would have just blown off that statement from them and ignored it. It wouldn't have mattered. If a 3-year-old tells you to be quiet, does it really matter? It doesn't a bit. But we give the power to someone else. So, would it be okay with us if we felt that collapsing, which is a form of giving way of power? Just see it as a pattern within ourselves. We want some approval, we want some love, we want some respect, we want some control, whatever it is. We want to feel safe. Could you just welcome up that lacking feeling, not good enough, and just be with that feeling? Just be with it. It's our own energy. We've transformed this kind of energy many times. Could we just allow that to be healed? And go back to that memory when that person told you to shut up or be quiet or hush, whatever you remember that you reacted to. And could you just look at that experience through the eyes of your heart and see it's just a memory, it's just a picture, and allow it to be one of our precious memories, free of energy. We never lose the memory, it's always there. But the energy we can let go, energy we can heal. And would it be okay with us if we simply lived in our hearts, and the next time someone tried to shut us down, we respond with love and compassion? It's okay, isn't it? We're just setting an intention. And where have we tried to shut someone down? Go back to some memory like that. Where have we been the ones? I don't want to hear this. Go tell it to the wall. Go tell somebody else. I don't care. Just try and find some memory like that, where we're the ones shutting the other person down. And check in with yourself. How were you feeling at the time? Were you feeling full of love, complete safety, completely in your power? Or were you feeling somehow threatened, uncomfortable, nervous, and you're trying to avoid and resist something? Notice that when someone who is fully present in their heart, in their power, says, to a crowd, quiet please, something like that, that we don't resist that, we actually appreciate it. When someone's speaking truth from a place of integration, wholeness, we don't mind it a bit. So I'm imagining that most of us went to a place where we were not experiencing that, where we were resisting someone or something. And would it be okay with us if we just felt that resistance honored it, loved it, and let it go. Let go of the whole energy of the picture. Perhaps you want to apologize to the other person for having spoken so harshly. Ask forgiveness, perhaps. Let go of disapproving of them, whatever they were saying or doing. Could you give that person complete freedom of speech? And my suggestion is we do that because we really have no power to keep someone from speaking to us. They can shout, we can plug our ears, but they can say whatever they want to say, unless we physically tape their mouths shut. We might as well give them that permission because we want that permission for ourselves. And could we give that person some love and approval? Because it feels better to us. It's healthier for us. Could we give ourselves some love and approval? And more love and approval. And notice what happens when we emphasize the positive energies. We begin to feel lighter, quieter, and more powerful. So now let's take this whole issue of freedom of speech to the national level, to heal this wound in the heart of America, where suppression of speech has a long and ugly history. It starts back with the Pilgrims, who had a very repressive society, and you faced ostracism if you said the wrong things, punishment. Very ugly suppression of speech. Later on, this is about 1835, I think, what happened is the Postmaster General, bowing to pressure from the slave owners, started censoring the mail, refusing to deliver mail from the abolitionists. And he said, freedom of speech takes place only in the context of the culture. In this culture, we have slavery. So he was suppressing it there. We'll hear the same phrase later, in the current times. People will say things like this. One professor said, in the freedom of, again saying freedom of speech only exists within the culture, and climate change deniers have no right to freedom of speech. So just check in. How do you react when you hear of these stories in this culture? And I'm sure the right is doing the same thing to the left. We all know that. But here we are, witnessing in the history of America and the current times these attempts to suppress speech. And what comes up? My invitation for all of us is to realize that anytime someone is trying to suppress speech on any side, there is an underlying anger, hatred, and fear. Fear. So can you find within yourself, as a proxy for America, what is your fear? And let's take it to politics here, because that's where nowadays, most of the energy is in terms of free speech. Can you welcome up your fear if the wrong party wins the next election? If Donald Trump survives everything and gets another term, or if the radical socialist Democrats win with a sweeping victory and suddenly take the House and the Senate, and vast upheaval, almost a revolution. Check your fear level. Check your fear level, and can you be with that fear, love the fear, recognize that it's just a pattern of reacting. Could you love it and let that fear go? And have you ever noticed about fear that it's never as bad as you think? It's never as bad as you think. Donald Trump takes the office again, and perhaps 4 more years of ugliness. That's the perception. Or the socialists step in. Bernie takes the lead and upends corporations, and maybe that's a good thing. Upends, the whole budgetary structure. Total redistribution of wealth. And maybe that's not so bad. Who can say? Who can say what's good or bad? Maybe it moves into the incredible utopia we all hope for. Maybe with Donald Trump and the conservatives, life goes on. Maybe not the direction we want it to, but not so different from the past 200 years. Can you get in touch with the fear again? Would it be okay with you if that fear shifted into curiosity? I wonder what it would be like. And could you just check in and measure your level of resourcefulness, intelligence, adaptability? I'm thinking most of us on this call have reasonable lives, because most Americans have reasonable lives. Would it be unreasonable to assume that your resourcefulness and your ability to function in the world will still be there, no matter what the political structure? Could you allow yourself to be safe, no matter what happens with the political structure. Left or right, central, could you welcome up this energy of resourcefulness, power, safety, resilience? And just allow yourself to say, I look forward to whatever the future holds. I look forward to whatever the future holds. And if you have resistance to that, can you feel that resistance and let that go? It's just resistance. I look forward to whatever the future holds. My invitation is, because we're going to close this meditation very quickly here, my invitation is for you to keep playing with that through the day. Whenever something comes up that pulls you into fear, to let go of the fear and to fill that void with an intention, with a clarity that we are all resourceful enough to survive and thrive well. That's the invitation. That's the vision. And in that, can we go to a place where we grant everyone freedom of speech, where we feel free to speak freely? And if people react to our speech, that's an education in itself for us to develop this talent of sweet speech, sweet truth. But give people the freedom to react the way they react, just like we want that freedom ourselves. And allow this blessing of free speech in our society. And again, just come back, feel your heartbeat if it's evaporated. Perhaps feel the energy of the soles of your feet, that we might walk on this planet fully grounded, clothed in light and love. Just take a minute or two and slowly open your eyes. So, as has become the tradition, I've become a storyteller. So this is another Sufi story. And it's about a very sincere seeker who heard about a caliph living, across the desert. And in fact, this caliph lived across the desert right on the Tigris River. And this fellow didn't know quite where this caliph lived. Just knew he was across the desert. So he crosses the desert, all the while carrying this jug of water. Water is, of course, so precious in the desert. But he wants to give a gift to this caliph. A caliph is like a lieutenant. Like Muhammad had 4 caliphs, 4 captains, you could call them. And in the spiritual schools, they're very great spiritual teachers. Anyway, this fellow makes it across the desert and shows up at the back door of the estate of this caliph. Comes in, and the caliph has a crowd of people listening to him. He's giving his blessings or whatever he's doing. And the fellow comes and brings this barrel of water as a gift, this jug of water, and he hands it to him very carefully, very preciously. Now the thing is, this caliph, unknown to this traveler, his property is actually on the Tigris River. He has all the water in the world. But the caliph takes this gift and he just thanks this man so thoroughly, so completely, and honors him for this great gift. And then he says to his friends, he's come in the back door. He should go out the front door. And he goes out the front door and sees the Tigris River. And he realizes how absolutely generous and magnanimous and kind this caliph had been to accept his present, even though he had a whole river of water. And that's the story of the water element, of the generosity, of the kindness, of the love that flows when water is present within each one of us. So, I should also tell you a fun story, because that's just a good story. Another Nasruddin story about Nasruddin, this sort of crazy dervish. This is one. There's a number of donkey stories about Nasruddin. And one day, Nasruddin has this donkey that he loves, and he sells it to a person. And the person comes back to him a week later, and he says, Nasruddin, that donkey has died. And Nasruddin says, funny, he never did that to me. Anyway, there's this craziness about Nasruddin. And I think one of the reasons they always tell these stories is just to, like, shake up. So let me shift. This ends our formal session of our meditation this morning. Let me shift our audio system so everybody can hear. So at this point, I think everybody's out of meditation. So if you have a question or a comment, or you've been stirred up, either online or here in the room, the invitation is to say good morning, hello. Or I could tell another story. Oh, Candace, come on up. So,
just a quick question.
Quick question, okay?
I want to be clear on the intention on the breath, the heart, and the heart. And I don't know if I heard you correctly, and so I'm wondering if it was that, because it seemed, how I heard it seemed counterproductive to my inner knowing, and so I'd like to be aligned with what's correct. And so I thought I heard you say that to align the breath with the heart. No, the heart with the breath. But what felt right to me was to align the breath with the heart. Is that clear?
So the question is, are we aligning the heartbeat with the breath, or are we aligning the breath with the heartbeat?
Mm.
And either way is fine. Okay? It's just the rhythm. And the rhythm, by the way, is more important than how long, how many heartbeats to the breath.
Repeat that again.
I said, so people tend to think, oh, I need to, do 10, 12, 14 heartbeats to each breath, really slow breathing. And there's a value to that, but more valuable is the rhythm connecting the heartbeat and the breath.
The feeling.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do have one comment.
So come up.
Oh.
They can't hear you. It's really rude to everybody on the phone.
Okay. No, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I also really liked where you were bringing the water down into the heart, because it reminded me of the firmament.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Beth, did you have something?
Yesterday I did also.
So do you want to come up here so everybody can hear you on the line?
I'm used to being aware of my breathing, and 2 breaths a minute or 16, whatever. I noticed yesterday, though, I'm out of balance. So yesterday I would breathe naturally, go out 14 count, and then I would breathe in and out several short breaths. Not hyperventilating, but just I didn't want more than 3 or 4 heartbeats worth of breath in and out. And it seemed to be what my body needed to do. It oscillated between deep, long, and then short, and then deep.
So the question, I'm gonna speak it.
It was almost a pattern.
I'm going to speak this again louder because you're not speaking very loudly. So Beth is saying that her experience is that her body wanted long, deep breath and maybe a few short, shallow ones. So there's a fine art between honoring your body and moving into balance. Okay? And what you want to do, not as force, okay, but you want to go to balance. All right? So if if you find yourself doing four breaths or 4 heartbeats here, just do 4 heartbeats in, 4 heartbeats out.
It tended to do that.
Then just do that.
Then it would go up to 8 and 8.
That's okay. That'll start. You're very new with this, so that'll start to stabilize, and it'll become a good, solid friend for you.
It's interesting.
Okay.
I've done breathing things before, but nothing like this.
I know this adds in the element of the heart,
which is what needs help.
Which is what needs help.
Yeah, my heart's tired.
Okay.
I have one word that came very strong while you were working on, what was the word? Was it fear?
Fear, yeah.
I have a problem with the word called disgust. It's awfully hard to love the universe when you're feeling disgusted.
Good. So you want to work on disgust?
Yeah, I'm babysitting a friend's puppies.
No. Let's do the story. So we'll work on disgust, but here are the ground rules here. Okay? Because it's really important for you. All right? There's no value in going into overwhelm. Okay? So that's the volcano.
Okay.
And you just jumped right in it yesterday.
Right.
Okay? And listen, it's okay. It's really okay.
It is.
Yeah. But for your own sake, that volcano is disintegrating rather than integrating energies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So and the other thing that happened yesterday is you started to go out of your body. Something would come up and you'd go out of your body. You may not even recognize that, but I can see it.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Right. You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And the thing is, that's encouraged in many traditions, and it's not actually useful here. Okay?
I never wanted to.
Because that's not integrating. And in this path, we're integrating.
It's running away.
Yeah, it's running away. It's escaping.
Right.
All right? So let's go to disgust.
Okay.
And everybody here. Whew, it's a powerful word, isn't it? Disgust. Good. Thank you very much for bringing it up. Okay? So, can everybody find something that you're disgusted with? All right? And, Beth, I know you were going there. You had puppies or whatever's going on. I forget what it is, but so
And Trump.
good. So welcome up this energy of disgust. Where do you feel it in your body? So Beth, when you go to disgust, look at whatever's just making you disgusted, okay? Now, is it your experience that feeling of disgust connects you with that object, or does it keep you separate?
You block it.
You block it.
I block it, and I dull out,
Right.
and I fuzzy up.
Right.
Fuzzy.
Okay, you are very articulate. You dull out and you fuzzy up. Okay, and this is perfect. So good. So, do you like that experience?
Short term, it shuts down the act.
Right.
But in the long term, you quit breathing.
Right. You quit breathing. Good.
I can remember as a child not breathing in certain circumstances because something was offensive. And I
Yes.
thought, can't be good.
That's no good, is it? Okay, good. So is it okay with you if you go to that first moment of yuck and feel that? You can feel it pretty easily. Yeah. And is that, could you just honor that feeling? It's a very natural feeling. Okay? Very natural feeling. But it's just a habitual response.
Yeah.
Right?
Very much so.
You could respond with compassion, couldn't you?
Well, the dead dog's tooth I can see, but stepping in the poop, it's hard to.
I get you. So there are always different levels of compassion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't yet identified the beauty of
the stepping in the poop.
Of the stepping in it, which
Right.
is what we're doing in the country right now.
I got you. So, all the same, when you react to stepping in the poop, okay, is that a moment of glory or is that a moment of
Oh shit.
rejection?
Rejection.
It's rejection, isn't it? Right. So which would you rather do? Glory or rejection?
Oh God, you're way over my head. If I ever step in poop and feel glory, I will know something in the whole universe is okay.
Yes.
I'm not even close.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
even.
So this not even close feeling, I love that you're laughing at it. Okay? This not even close feeling, can we all go to this, that we're not even close to handling disgust in an exalted manner? Okay?
I can't say
I get it.
No hoorays here.
Yeah, I get it. It's all right. And is it okay if this is where you are?
It has to be.
It has to be, right. So could you just give yourself some love and approval?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where you are. Look.
Yeah, it's just what
It's where you are. So you see a 3-year-old tree, and it's 3 feet tall. You go, bad tree because you're not 50 feet tall? You don't do that, do you? Just go, yeah, you see nice little tree, right? And you see what's possible. Would it be all right for you?
I want to hear this.
Would it be all right for you to get a vision of what's possible for you?
Just of me, not
Yes.
the.
Right, just of you. Because it's all about your reaction. You get that? It's all about your reaction here.
Okay.
All right?
Come on. I want to see this.
Yeah, no, we're just setting an intention here. Would it be all right for you if you picked up some picture of a day when you could react like that?
Can't figure it.
That's okay. And you don't have to now. All right? It's just an invitation. So go back to the feeling here. of stepping in the poop and really not liking it.
We're just being there.
Yeah. Could you just be with that not liking feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could,
Yeah,
couldn't
I
you?
don't like it, yeah.
Just be with that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wish it was different.
I know. That wishing it was different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Could you feel that and just be with that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just let that go. Well, let me ask you, would you rather hold on to that or would you rather let that go?
Rather let it go.
You'd rather let it go.
What was the question again?
That not liking feeling.
Please say it again.
So would you rather hold on to that not liking feeling or would you rather let it go?
I'd like to train the dogs. In the trunk.
I know, but go back to your feelings here.
Okay.
All right? Would you rather hold on to that not?
Train my feelings.
Yes, that's what we're doing here. We're creating new habits.
Train up my...
Wait, this is your own poop. Ooh, I love that. You said that. This is your own poop, right? These not liking feelings are your own poop. Oof. And could you love them anyway? Could you love them anyway? Could you love those not liking feelings anyway? They're your stuff. Right.
Wherever they came from, I love them.
Yeah, they're your stuff. You've got them. You're the one that picked up that habit. Okay? And it's just a habit, isn't it?
Well, and I'm supposed to fix it.
Right, but it's just a habit, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever changed a habit before?
Hard.
It's hard. Yeah?
Very hard.
Would it be okay if it's easy to change this one?
Show me.
Yeah. No, it's just an intention. Would you rather have it be hard or rather have it be easy?
I'd rather it be easy.
There you go. See, that's all you're doing.
In my throat.
Yeah, I
In my
know.
throat.
Stick in your throat. Feel that throat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blocked.
All you're doing is you're making a choice, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying you have to be perfect about it.
All right. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're just making a choice, and that's how you start the change. That makes sense?
Okay, try.
All right. Now this try word, you're really saying not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
You get that? I'll try means no. Means no.
Means probably not.
Yeah, it means probably not. All right? And all I'm asking you is to make a choice. Would you rather love these feelings or would you rather hate these feelings?
God. Oh, whoa. I don't want to love, I don't want to hate them.
Okay. Good. You don't want to hate them, so loving's better, isn't it?
And I don't see how.
You don't see how, but could you let that go, by the way? Now,
Yeah.
All we're doing is we're making
I
distinctions.
think I just saw how.
You just saw how. There you go.
I have to love the people that taught me that.
Yes. Have to love the people that touch that.
Yep.
There you go.
Because they were trying to teach me how to live well.
So you saw how to do it.
Well, I ain't quite figured out yet.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Way. At least I know where it came from.
Good. So those people that taught you that, could you let go of disapproving of them?
I don't disapprove of them. That's the problem.
You don't. Oh, good.
No, I love them.
You love them.
They did the best they could.
They did the best they could. Perfect. And
So they screwed up, but I don't want to admit that.
Right. So could you let go of disapproving of that part of them?
Try it again.
Could you let that part of them that taught you these patterns that you don't like?
Yeah, their need for security, their need to fix
Right.
things.
Could you let go of disapproving of that part of them?
Yeah, and their need to be self-righteous.
Yes. You could let go of that.
Bless their hearts.
Right. Because it's not like you're self-righteous at all.
Tell the truth, big girl. Of course I am.
Of course.
But sometimes it's a big self. Sometimes it is right.
I understand. We're all the
Sometimes
same.
it's not.
Beth, we're all the same here.
When I have that disgust, I don't feel righteous.
Right. So, Beth, we're all the same here.
Okay.
All I'm doing is inviting you to look at your feelings.
Okay.
All right? And then play with them.
Okay.
That's the job.
Disgust.
Okay?
Still disgusted.
Good. Could you be with that disgusted feeling?
Boy, it's a mess all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just big
Okay.
bundle of mess.
So my guess is, because we're not going to the volcano of disgust here,
Right.
so my invitation for you is to take this as homework.
Okay.
All right? Every time you start to feel disgust,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to welcome it up, recognize it as a feeling, Because
Okay.
it's there anyway, right?
Right, okay, it's going to be a feeling, and I'm
Right.
going to recognize it. I'm going to
Right.
try to love it.
Right. And you forget the trying to love it. Just try to be with it.
Okay, try to be with it.
Just be with it.
Okay, just allow it.
Just allow it. So
Okay.
that's your homework.
Okay.
All right? That's the job for today.
God,
All right?
how about the year?
And I look forward to stepping in poop.
I usually don't, but just having to not. Just having to dodge it.
All right.
And dodge Trump.
All right, Beth, thank you very kindly. And I think we're going to call that a morning. And let's move from disgust to glory. All right. Notice that just by saying that, how the energy changed in the room. Yes? Is that a question or?
Sometimes setting the intention.
Setting the intention, yeah. So, and is it okay with us if we walk in glory the entire day?
Wow.
That's a nice intention, isn't it? Say yes to that one. All right, you guys. I'm going to unmute everyone on the phone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.